Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Electricpreneur Secrets, the Electricians Podcast. Joe, it is Thursday. It is episode 132. And as per usual, we've got some incredible training, some incredible discussions to have today that are going to help every electrician master their sales, simplify their pricing, and deliver premium level electrical service. And none of that has anything to do with the fact that it's my birthday.
I was going to wait because if you asked how I was doing, I was going to throw the ball right back into your court and be like, dude, it's your birthday. That is about you today.
Yeah.
Forget what I'm doing. It's about what you're doing.
I want to give you a visual here. Baseball doesn't usually have defense, but I just ran in between the batter and the pitcher's mound and did one of these and just kind of got in the way of the pitcher and took the ball from him and ran away.
That's fair. You deserve it.
You get a good visual with that?
It is. Because you know what? At the end of the day, it's good to feel like a kid again sometimes, right? Like I remember the last birthday I thought was special when I was a young adult was 21. Then it was 25, then it was 30. And then it was like, well, after that, what's interesting? Make it interesting, make it fun, be a kid, go buy a box of candy if you want to. You got the means to do so. Do you have a candy that you enjoy? Like what's your sweet tooth craving?
You know what? I actually have I've got a candy, a certain candy that is absolutely my kryptonite. I love it, Joe. And I've loved it my whole life. And I even named our boat after it. It's simple. Twizzlers, man. I'm a red licorice Twizzler fan. Twizzlers. Yeah, the boat's not red, so we called it the Golden Twiz.
I love it. Well, I was wondering because I remember you came down when you visited me, you brought this big bag of Twizzlers, and I was like, man, I wonder what that's about.
Yeah,
but now it makes sense.
On them all the time. It's a bit of a joke in the house. The girls know if there's Twizzlers, it's not for long. They've got to hide them from me, and there's probably a bag in this house because my birthday, and someone would have got that for me, I'm sure.
Good.
If not, I'll be running out right after this.
As you freaking should. For all of our electripreneurs listening right now, the reason why we're focusing on this, as silly as it may seem, is because sometimes you have to realize to smell the roses. How many times are we just under the crawl space or in the attic, and that's where our brains stay? That's not fair to anyone. Instead, when you have the reason to say, I'm going to feel good about myself, God damn it, just feel good about yourself. It's your birthday, right? You can feel bad tomorrow, but today doesn't count. Today, you're not feeling bad. I don't care what's going on.
Yeah, man. And you know what? We've got a great training, this live training, 6 Options Live. We're going to do some of that today. We've got a great story about when the options and building options gets too much from one of our recent clients who signed up and then worked through it and had a great outcome. And there's some huge lessons there that I want to impart on our listeners and watchers today. Viewers, you know what I mean. But I also want to share something special that we began to talk about before the show.
Sure.
So it became apparent before the show, Joe said, I got to know, did you open my gift yet? And I think we mentioned this yesterday. I've got this gift beside me that says, Mr. President Clay Newmeyer. It's in a box and I haven't opened it. And Joe was like, man, what's going on with you? And you know what? I actually don't say this out loud, but I feel like there's probably a lot of electricians out there because in the trades, we can be a bit of a rough group sometimes, hard on ourselves, really put ourselves through the ringer. Would you agree with that, Joe?
Yeah. I mean, you're telling someone who's been in the same boat, like, I get it, man. We are so hyper hard on ourselves because we're so hyper perfectionist at the same time. We're all a bunch of OCD nutbags who need everything to be perfect. That's why we became electricians.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I even shared on the show how, was it last weekend, my mother-in-law told me I was enough and I turned into freaking waterworks. I had a meltdown. And I realized as this gift is beside me that there's a piece of me that doesn't feel like I'm worthy of a gift. And I just know that I'm not alone in that. So would it be wrong of us for exploring that for a second? If that helps one person, wouldn't that be worth it?
I honestly wouldn't care if the entire thing was about it, because I really feel that when self-worth isn't in play, it actually is a business lesson. And if I can just touch on that slightly and then we'll get back to it.
Of course.
It is really, if you think about it, guys, everyone who's listening to this, your demeanor determines your focus and your view of the world, right? If you're low, you see things from a low perspective. If you're high, you see things from a higher perspective. So the main thing that we have is that your clients will recognize where you and how you carry yourself, both emotionally and mentally. So the exercise that I want to do now is, though meant to support Clay, is meant to support all of you. Because if you're going through this, all the magic sales lines in the world aren't going to help you if you're not emotionally and mentally well. So can we just get into that if that's all right?
Let's do it, man. Let's hit it for a couple minutes here. I think it's really helpful stuff. And hey, I'm sitting here before you with a gift unopened, so maybe I'll get this thing opened here sooner than later.
Yeah, right. So the first thing we have to acknowledge is that a lot of us who don't feel like we're worth something or that we're worthy of something, it's not usually our viewpoint that we're carrying. What that's often felt like is almost like an imprint. Like imagine a footprint in the mud. Something has been pressed into you that you can't seem to let go. I carry that a lot as well. I have made many attempts on my own life, and it sucks to admit that out loud, but there's reasons for all these things. Clay, I want to say that for you and for everyone else that's listening, not only are you enough, but I can give you a logical reason to explain why.
Yeah, please. Let's hear it.
Okay. So right now, you wake up every single day, and the first thing you do is you think about the business, right? Like you're always thinking about what you need to do. But what I want to shift that focus to is instead to shift it towards gratitude. Because think of the things you're doing for this industry. Like even without me being here, even if I didn't exist, you would still show up every single day with the intention of making the lives of everyone you meet better. That doesn't sound like a POS to me. When
Just to
you're
be clear, what's POS stand for?
piece of shit. That's what it stands for. But the fact is that you're going in with the intention of making the lives you touch better, right? Whether it's in your spouse, whether it's with your children, whether it's with your mentees, anyone who works with us, we put our hearts and souls into it. The fact is that alone is a good thing. My mentor Sadhguru always mentioned, am I doing the right thing or the wrong thing? And there is no right or wrong. It only is the thing I'm doing bringing well-being and peace to the lives of others? And I want to say, look at what we've done. Look at what we've built in such a short period of time and the lives that we've touched. We put over $1 million in wins in our clients' pockets. If you weren't worthy, how could we have done that?
It's true. It's true, man. I appreciate that. And even as that number even that you said, it represents something, but it just became a goal. And I just want to address that for a second, because so many of us then we establish our visions like we talked about last week, but we measure it in goals. And if you think about like a goal post, and we just keep climbing, and we really forget to look back, which is ironic, because if you're climbing a physical mountain, if you're actually scaling a cliff right now, what do? We all look
You don't
down.
look down, let me tell you that.
Exactly. But for some reason, in the pursuit of everything we're trying to help people do, and Edwin, thank you so much, man. I was just going to say, I'm a words of affirmation guy. So really what tickles me pink is when clients like you, Edwin, speak that kind of stuff. And Edwin just said on the VIP group, y'all changed my life. And that to me, and getting to know your family even in the process, and getting friends and all the people today and from our client group that just chimed in and sent a personal message that just said, I'm so glad I met you. I'm so glad we have each other in this. Changed my life, as Edwin said. There's no better gift than that, except maybe what's in this box that I haven't opened yet from Joseph. So we'll see. We'll see, but not live.
I don't think what's in that box is going to top the affirmation that you receive by knowing you've changed the lives of others.
Absolutely. So,
but
we've got a kind of a two-part thing happening here today, Joe, and I don't think we're wrong for doing that. So I want to keep speaking to the confidence, and the stories around the confidence of sticking to your options, as we talked about yesterday, that STYO acronym that we started and keep saying in our content all day, every day, and every week. It's so important. But really, I mean, let's address for a second then why STYO is so important.
Okay, I'd love to do that.
Personally, if I could start that off just by saying it's because of the tendency to not stick to your offer. And that tendency is rooted in confidence and self-worth, isn't it? Isn't that what we've uncovered this week?
Yeah. I mean, that's literally what we were talking about today in our class, where the perspective comes down to why do clients not buy? Now, you can have the best, I've said that before, you can have the best, most well scripted sales lines in the world that you rehearse and rehearse and rehearse. But if it's not authentic and if you're not confident, they will say no every single time. And isn't that a crazy thing to think of? Like, all of us seem to think as electricians, we're logical thinkers. If I had the right solution, they would buy it. If you had the right solution, but you didn't convey with your body language and your tonality that you were the right solution, they won't see it that way.
Right.
And as a result, that's where Tank Top Terry comes in, because that guy is a hack and he's confident that he can get the job done. He may not be very smart, may not be very talented, but he's confident. And he's going to come and he's going to get the job, and the customer is going to buy that confidence.
And speaking to that, continuing that notion, like the communication bit, people come into our program and they see that we have an entirely scripted process with all the whys beside it and all the commitments we're looking for to obliterate objections ahead of time. And one of the first things we experience with a lot of people, and it's understandable from a surface level, is I can't say that. I can't do that. But communication's only 7% what we say. We get scared by the words that are laid out instead of just understanding the purpose behind the words, the tonality and the expression and the intention that's behind them, and what we're truly trying to accomplish. That's the why. It's not actually the words. We've just gone so far to make sure that there are words to use to convey that intention. Would you agree with that sentiment?
I wrote it. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, good answer. Good answer. Yeah. The sentiment around what you wrote, though, just like giving it that meaning, that other look at it, right? If we really consider, well, if this is just 7% what we say, then it's 93% how we say it.
And it's specifically why we have the pre-arrival process so dialed in. Like, sometimes when we go into the pre-arrival and we're like, all right, this is where you're going to hold your hands. This is the eye contact you're going to make. This is where you're going to step in. Like, to give it, I'm going to give some value away for a moment. Literally what we do is we've got it so calculated down that I know I'm going to reach the doorbell with my left hand. I'm going to step back while I'm retracting my arm. I'm going to be looking at the door and I'm going to smile as I'm reaching for the doorbell. Because if it's a Ring doorbell, they're going to see the smile when they look back at the record. That level of intention is process, but that's not the same as authenticity. You need to be authentic in the things you say. So we learn to process all the nonverbal things that we're doing. And that's where the real success comes from. When you look like a winner, because that customer, they're not expecting you. They didn't take off of work for a scrub to show up. They wanted you to win. They wanted you to be a 10. They're like, I hope this guy will solve my problems. And when you show up looking like a schmuck, they're not going to buy, because they're going to be like, I don't know if this is the right fit. He showed up, his blue jeans are a little torn. He's wearing Converse and the guy smells like an addict. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I wanted to work in my $1 million home. So they end up going and saying, hey, we're going to go with someone cheaper. But really, they're just trying to be nice to you. And they're going to find someone who can serve them at the level they need to be served at. Yeah,
totally. And the fact that you said that, I mean, you just sparked another thing in me. We could just go down this rabbit hole forever. I mean, it's been an influential and passionate day here so far in our class this morning. And even I'm reflecting on my class yesterday afternoon. So I've got two things I need to highlight. To reflect on what you just said, that competitiveness. We talked about this in the class this morning. I think it's good for people to hear. It's not that premium service providers aren't competitive. We are competitive. on value, just not competitive on price.
Amen.
Our clients understand value. No, not everyone is going to be our client. Some people are still in a stage of life that they just want the bottom of the barrel pricing. And you know what? Even in construction, some contractors are still in their naivety that they just want the bottom of the barrel pricing. Others are on this timeline where they've matured a bit and they understand, you know what? It's the middle of the run pricing that keeps us out of the lawyer battles of change management and all the garbage and missed scope and all the crap that's in the middle. And then even more mature contractors are somewhere in their journey. And some of you lucky people have these relationships where they're like, you know what, we want matching premium providers. And this isn't about the profit. It's actually about serving someone. And that's rare in the project world, but it is out there. The same scale exists in service. And all we're talking about is people on different timelines. So here's what I want to do. I want to circle this back to this offer, the STYO, and what we just said. It's that confidence. It's sticking to it. The reason it's even a movement is because people feel the pull to do something different based on a lack of confidence and a lack of self-worth. So yesterday in our afternoon class, we talked about a very important concept that I'm actually going to quote from Tony Robbins, one of my favorite mentors as well, where he talked about the art of fulfillment versus the science of success. Here's what I love about this so much. The art of what we do is the expression. It is the intention behind what we're trying to accomplish. And what our non-ego driven intention would be is to serve someone and help them with the safety of their home using the knowledge and skills that we've developed through our trade. Wouldn't that be altruistic?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
The culmination of everything I've developed in knowledge, skills, and experience to point I'm going to put forth and channel for this person in front of me to the best of my ability to just serve them with everything they don't know or understand that will help them enjoy their life and enjoy their safety more.
I agree.
100%. That's the art of it. The science of success is simple. More offers, more options, more sales. The science part's easy. It's the art part that tends to scare us. But we could all agree on the science. I don't know a single person in here that would say, well, you know what? Actually, offering more would yield less.
I can't imagine someone saying that. At least someone who's sober currently at the moment. But what are you going to do?
It's a law of averages thing, right? Like if I can offer 6 simple options every time, will I make more sales? Will my average ticket go up? Like, find me a scientist that disagrees. Find me a mathematician that disagrees. So long as it's communicated simply, it can be done.
I kind of want to take one thing beyond that.
Please.
Simply and authentically with a why. Because the biggest thing is that clients don't want to buy things that are just pushed in front of them. Like, I've never seen someone go, you know what? I've been reading Surge Protector Weekly that comes in every, all the time. And I've been always meaning to get this particular one from Square D, the one that can do 16,000 joules. Yeah, sign me up with that. That sounds like a reason. It doesn't happen. These people don't know about what these things are, and that's okay. But being able to say, hey, I understand that you may not have had this system installed, but the reason why I'm offering this whole home electronic safety system is just in the room that we're in alone. We recognize that you've got your fridge and your microwave and your stove and the washing machine. And I know that you've got enough on your plate running the household that you do, that if something ever happened, the last thing I want you to deal with is have to worry about fixing appliances and having to take care of the kids at the same time. What this does is it gives you an insurance policy of $10,000 on top of stuff with your appliances, and it prevents you having to take off of work and even call the appliance repair people in the first place. Was I wrong to want to give you that kind of peace of mind?
Not at all. Not at all.
And now it's not a surge protector. They're not buying that. They're buying the peace of mind of how it frees up their time and how they're not searching for things.
Yeah. So given that we're more than halfway through this, I really want to get into this story a bit, Joe. I want to get into one of our clients, their recent experience, And maybe one of the hardest points on any electricpreneur's journey is in
Mhm.
this realization that, wow, we aren't charging enough to get to where we want to go. That, wow, we do have to increase our rates, and wow, we are going to offer these options, and it's all hard and it's all new. And in
Mhm.
some cases, like this case, even our significant others, our partners get involved in a way that can, either people amplify the experience, whether it's positive or negative. And so if you're
Mhm.
feeling the lack of confidence, what will a partner reflect?
The same thing. I mean, that's what's going to end up happening. If I feel that there's a lack of confidence, I'm going to recognize that in my partner or in my spouse or in my business partner and be like, there's something wrong here and we need to address it. It's going to rub a red flag if nothing else.
Totally. So it amplifies it. So in this case, one of our clients was on a complex opportunity call,
Mhm.
and it was about shop power. The thing was
I remember this
spray
one. Yeah.
insulated. Like, it was clear that the conductors were not properly stapled. Things were undersized. There was an extension cord underground. But then you got in the house and they had renovation plans. So a whole laundry list of things.
It was a big one. Yeah.
I mean, this is a big project. And I believe the observation section here was maybe 18 items long.
Mhm.
There was a lot to note and to go through. And so, with that, and being one of the first 6 options estimates that this individual did, came a lot of anxiety,
Mhm.
especially as it got closer to the numbers. And now, how this ended up going is he spent a considerable amount of time, almost an entire day, creating 6 of the finest options. And when he presented that to us, given granted, this looked flawless. It was a beautiful presentation with simple language, and for a newer client, did very, very well at that. But the trouble was, along that journey, there were points of, I feel like I'm charging too much. I should cut my rate in half, maybe, and just use like a survival rate. Maybe I should, maybe I'm applying too many hours here.
Mhm.
Perhaps the material shouldn't be rolled up in this way. Maybe I should mark this up more. Maybe I'm charging too much. There was all these demons, like the devil on the shoulder, and
Mhm.
our ego does that to us. Our self-worth issues, that lack of confidence can do that to us, Joe.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, though, this comes down to a conversation. And that conversation is, you could cut your rate in half. And if you did, and they took your top option immediately, what would happen then?
I mean, I can tell you from firsthand experience, I have gone and had customers tell me, yeah, we're not going to buy anything really good, or we're just looking for the cheapest thing. And I tell them my top option. I ask them to guess what it's going to be, and they guess double what it is. And then I'm like, fuck, there is so much money left on the table. And my first thought is, oh my God, if they took it too quickly, did I underprice this?
Dangerous, right? Exactly.
Very
At the
dangerous.
beginning of COVID, I sold my house in record time. I was so pumped about this because you couldn't even get a photographer to go in your house.
Mhm.
And then it dawned on me, shit, I was underpriced. If it's sold that fast, well, what the hell, right? Rip
Mhm.
myself off. So the same principle applies. So, as nerve wracking as it was, we challenged this and we stayed strong on the pricing. The next morning, after I think we supported this client about 4 hours in total, we really push at this stage because we want people to succeed and taste this level of success so that
Mhm.
it's just been experienced, and then you don't have to act as if you can remember when.
Mhm.
Remember when you locked in that big sale. So we did the exercise for about an hour and a half in a class.
Yep.
After the observations were ironed out, Joe walked step by step with them and the rest of the people in the class and laid out every option and then priced it from the top of your head using our client's pricing, specialty item pricing from the top of your head, though. And the option that our client sold, the silver sale, you were within about $200 of what his estimate was. And he connected right down the middle. If he had offered good, better, best, that sale would not have been as good. There
It
would have
may
been
not
too
have
many
actually even
gaps.
happened. it may not even happen. I gotta really just time that out,
Please.
because the thing is, you're right in that he got a sale that was massive. And I'm so proud of you for doing that, because I know you're listening right now and I'm proud of you for pulling it off. But the thing is that you also may not have gotten the sale by going lower. The reason being is that there's very few people, especially customers, who are going to be honest enough with you to say, I think you're too cheap and I don't think you're going to serve me at the level that I think I need to be served at. People will not tell you that. Instead, they'll tell you the exact opposite. And they say, you know what? You were great. You were the best salesperson I've ever seen. But you know what? I just got a quote that was half of what you're charging. I'm sorry. I'm just going to go with them. It's my wife's friend from high school. We're just going to go with them. Right. Even though they wrote a check that was larger than what you asked for, because they felt that the other company could serve them at a better level. So by going lower, you were less likely to get it, because at this particular type of job, this was a very needy customer with a lot of particular demands. And the reason that he went with them was because in our observations and our solutions, we solved both the emotional, the mental, the physical, all of the needs were met. And that's why it was such a win.
Definitely. It's huge. And so then again, if he had changed his pricing, he may have then sold the platinum option, because the commitment this client signed up for was about close to $19,000. If he had changed his pricing, his top option would have been 13 to 15K. 13 to 15K. He would have sold more work and lost maybe $3,000 to $5,000. Isn't that crazy?
It really is. And it's a shame how so many people think that, well, where's the money going to come from? It's got to come from somewhere, guys. And you can either be sneaky about it and build it into your rates and hide it and hope they don't catch it, or you can be ethical with your offer and be upfront. These are the ways that we can serve you at the highest level. These are the ways we can serve you at a typical standard level. And these are the ways we can serve you at a subpar level, if you even wanted to entertain that. How would you like to proceed? That's the ethical offer.
100%. And if you then followed my story post early this week, you would have seen a live video that this client sent me with this grin on his face, this smile that he hadn't even felt before, because what we just did is open up another story of confidence, another story about himself. It's not something that's even easy to articulate, but when you become something bigger than you even believed you're capable of today, it unlocks things in your life, in your future, that are difficult to even spot from here. The doors that open, right? It changes lives. And so the video went something like this. Well, I presented and it went pretty well, guys. He took a modified silver option for just about $19,000, and I couldn't be happier. Thank you guys for everything. I'm a changed man. Those were his words. I didn't make that up. That's what this can do for you when you serve at the highest level. It's a remarkable feeling. And many of the listeners that we have right now, many of the people in the VIP on the Facebook Electrepreneur group have already felt this themselves. So the question just becomes, what's stopping you? What's in your way from being a premium provider? With that, Joe, we're out of time on this one. So I know we didn't quite get to the live training. I think what we'll need to do is actually extend that into tomorrow's podcast to finish the week off with a live demonstration to help you guys. And of course, with as much detail as possible on the podcast itself, on the audio, to make sure that it's understood every step of the way. But if you guys are listening only, this might be one that you want to check out the video feed for, just to get that extra sensory on it. Joe, what do you say about some action items today?
I actually have one, and this is going to be the first time we've ever done it. I would like my action item to be a quote.
All right.
Because I really feel like if you can apply this to your life, even at a baseline level, it will shift so much of what you do. Okay. For all of you guys know, I'm a Star Wars nut. I love it. I've adopted it into all my mentalities. And because there are a lot of really great quotes that come from it. And one of the quotes that I remember was, don't ask who will let you, ask who will stop you. That applies to your own self. So many times we worry about, oh, this won't work here. This won't work there. They won't like this. They won't like that. But that's all outside of you. You yourself are your own entity. Everything that you experience in life comes through your own senses. So you get to determine that reality with autonomy. So instead of saying, who's going to let me, who's going to let this happen, who's going to stop this from happening? Because I'm not going to stop. Clay's not going to stop. And we're going to not stop to make sure that you won't either.
I love that. As you said that, I'm hearing like Kanye West in my head. Bit of a hip hop fan over here as well. Who gonna stop me, huh? Anyway,
I love it.
I won't do that again live, I promise.
It's all good. It was worth it.
All-star action, guys, to tie on to that. You know what? Try it. We're helping you, so give it a try. You want to help building 6 options? Stick around. Show up tomorrow. All-star action, come and try it. Don't try it once. Commit to trying it 10 times. And then tell us how your wins went. I think that's what Dorian did, who's listening right now, right? Dorian with us live. Before he became a client, went out there, got wins, showed us pictures of the checks. It's life-changing. So just try it. Stick to your offer. Offer 6 options. Lead with intent. And join the premium service movement, guys. Enough with the shitty rat race to the bottom. Enough with cheating on yourself and not presenting like you know you can, like you know you should. Don't tell us it doesn't work. Just show us. Guys, that's it for another episode of Electrepreneur Secrets, episode 132. Just a couple of master electricians with business addictions, a birthday and a present that's unopened, as Joshua mentioned in the group here. He's like, open your present, Clay. Guys, we're going to be back for one more day yet this week as we keep showing up 5 days a week for you. Just promise to show up for yourself 5 days a week and we'll keep going. This is an endurance race, so let's see how big we can make it, guys. We're here, again, to help you master sales, simplify pricing, and deliver premium level electrical service. Let's go.